So I'm starting off another prediction video, this time for UFC 214, Jones versus DC2. And yeah, I was pretty successful with that last prediction. And now starting off in the first fight of this card between Jimmy Manuwa and Volkan Oezdemir, if I'm saying his name right. This is a pretty interesting matchup. I think Oezdemir has a good chance to shock up the whole division. The division kind of needs some new life, some new shocking. Any kind of knock out the top prospect, coming up prospect in Misha Serkunov. So I think he stands a pretty good shot. He comes from a Black Zealand, which has a lot of high-level kickboxers coming train there and pretty good striking there. And Jim Manu is primarily a striker, so he doesn't have to worry about getting wrestled in this fight. So that's always leaves a chance for that punch that lands. But I think Jim Manu is a better striker, has more power, has more range. And I think I see Jim Manu just being just enough better, just that much better than him that he should pull off the knockout. Or I'll give Volkan Oezdemir a good chance. He'll survive. So I'll say Jim Manu in the decision. Volkan may still around and have some moments, but I think Jimmy Nua should get a drop maybe, and just coast his way to the decision by the end of the third. And then in our next fight, there's Lawler versus Don Cerrone, a very good matchup I'm looking forward to. I'm like kind of stuck on who will win and who won't. Even though I've been picking Cerrone since, not Cerrone, I've been picking Lawler since the beginning. But I know definitely with those switch kicks and the speed coming from a lightweight to welterweight should be proved to be problematic for Robbie Lawler, because that speed with that switch kick and how Robbie Lawler often just leaves himself open for attacks just so he can come back with counters is a new style of late. I think that could be dangerous if you let Cerrone get off to too quick a start. And plus, in a 3-round fight, or any fight really, against Don Cerrone. And plus, Don Cerrone don't seem like he really lost any strength coming up to welterweight. But I think Robbie Lawler has been the fighter who's been a champion, who's been tougher, more experienced, more power. I think he has better hands. With him Cerrone has better kicks, but Lawler has better hands and definitely more power. And then I think say better boxing. So I think, and that's what Cerrone had lost to a lot. He had lost to fighters that had better hands than him or better boxing, who would get past his kicks and can touch him up to the body and to the head. And he has lost to them. And I think also that Cerrone would, another problem, Cerrone won't really be able to take down Lawler. And a lot of times when Cerrone is losing the hand battle or the stand-up battle, he takes it down. So if he can't take it down and really rely on takedowns, then I think that's a loss for him. And I think Robbie Lawler has good submission defense and good awareness of the ground, and he has great wrestling because he started off as a wrestler, and his original camp for many years, long time, was a wrestling camp with Matt Hughes and several other great wrestlers. And yeah, so that's why I'm actually picking Robbie Lawler to probably get a knockout in the second round. I think with his size, his better striking, and the well-roundedness, I think she'll be able to get to what's his name and touch him up. Then in my next fight, we have Cyborg versus Tanya Evinger, and I say definitely Cyborg. No ifs and or buts. I think Tanya Evinger is definitely tough. She's experienced. She's a vet. You gotta respect her. But Cyborg, you just gotta. If you're a woman, you just gotta fear her, or because she's gonna just pretty much run through everyone that is gonna give her, unless she fight Gabby Garcia. She probably run through her too, really. But other than that, I say Cyber should run through pretty much any female she fights. I think Tanya Evinger is good, but she's coming up from 135 to 145. Cyber has better striking and better grappling than her, in my opinion. And if Tanya Evinger is actually technically a better grappler, I think Cyber's strength and size and all that stuff, coupled with her experience and skill on grappling, should just nullify Tanya Evinger. I predict Cyber to get a. Should I give it a second round? I say first round. First round finish for Cyborg. First round knockout. And it will be brutal. Then going to our co-main event, Tyron Woodley versus Damian Maia. This is a good fight. Maybe not entertaining, but on paper maybe. and maybe not realistically in a real fight, not entertaining. But I think it could be turn out to be surprisingly entertaining. 5 round fight. Tyron Woodley's very explosive, good takedown defense, great wrestler. Doesn't use it as much now, I guess, because maybe he's getting older and it takes a lot of wear, and he doesn't have the best gas tank, so he just kind of uses it. Even his striking is kind of just pick and choose when he uses it. So uses very conservatively with his striking, very conservatively with any type of input. So he'll probably sit around and wait for stuff. But I think in this matchup, they're both. Neither fighter has really great gas tanks. Nehemiah has really good jiu-jitsu, and so that's more the place. I think with this fight, it's gonna be about who can impose their will more, and I think they might be able to impose his takedown and jiu-jitsu threat so much that he will be able to open up his striking and get good hits on Tyron Woodley, which will eventually lead to him actually getting takedowns and for him to go for these submissions. Or will Woodley be able to nullify his takedowns to the point he doesn't have to worry about them? Then when Nehemiah can get those takedowns, he'll get frustrated, get gas, overcommit to strikes, overcommit to takedowns, and will Woodley be able to capitalize on this and attack and hurt Nehemiah off this? And that's where I kind of make my pick. I think that Tyron Woodley's younger. He's physically like probably much stronger, or not strong, but like physically in better shape. Like you say, more muscular and stuff than Nehemiah. But I think Nehemiah came from middleweight, longer, lankier, and all that stuff, and got his jiu-jitsu strength. But I think Woodley should be able to, with his high takedown defense rate, should be able to defend Nehemiah's takedown and get him frustrated. Nehemiah probably has some moments with his striking, even though it's not the best. It's kind of, he makes it work for him. So I think he might be able to work on that. But I think Woodley should be able to defend his takedown, get him frustrated, and get him tired. And what's named Telegraph, I think he should be able to piece him apart. I say it's not a decision. I say, as I'm going to say, Woodley finishes him in the third round TKO. And then going to the main event, the most anticipated fight of this year so far, or maybe even the whole 2017. I would say, John Jones versus Dan Cormier. And in this fight, I predicting the same kind of outcome as I predicted in that first fight. I was predicting third round submission in the first fight. And this time maybe even more true, but it should be a hard fight because harder than I think or anyone really thinking. And definitely not going. I don't know how it's going to play out. Even though they already fought before and you have a blueprint kind of to what it might be like, nobody knows for sure how this fight would turn out. So Dan Cormier has been fighting. He's been champion, and then how would that play out? Now that he has the championship experience and he has that confidence. Plus, John Jones haven't been fighting as much, and he hasn't had a real good performance in a while, on top of not fighting in a while. So, how would that play out? But John Jones is younger, but even though he's getting older. DC's getting even older than he already was old. So now DC's reaching his 40s, and John Jones just turned 30. But I think John Jones still has the reach, still has the length, still has the speed, maybe not the power. Wrestling should be kind of similar, should be always kind of balanced. I don't think Dan Cormier's wrestling got so much better that he can impose it on John Jones. I think John Jones if he keeps mixing up his striking and his overall game, it should kind of stunt DC's wrestling. But how will John Jones handle it around? Will his cardio really be that good? Will he have this? If the cardio is good in the gym, does that translate to his cardio being good in the ring? Because he hasn't really had no in-ring experience. Well, I predict that it should be a tough couple. It should be a tough fight. I think DC's gonna have his round or two, maybe in there. Maybe Miles shocking him in the first, maybe second. But I think John Jones should be able to still be able to hit him in the clinch when he try to. That's where a lot of DC's takedowns come from. I think he's gonna get in the middle of the ring shots. It's gonna have to be some striking, then turn to a gritty clinching match. I think John Jones is better in the clinch with the elbows and knees. And then that's going to be a lot of times, if DC want to get anywhere, he had to go into that blender of elbows and knees to get any takedown. And I think John Jones will neutralize a lot of his takedown. But DC probably will get a takedown. I think he's probably trained a lot more. And he probably going to have some setups to get those takedowns. And that's going to be the interesting part, how John Jones will react if he gets taken down. And another interesting how DC will react if he gets down. Even though he got taken down in the first fight and he just got right back up. They were significant in the first fight, but he got up right back up after each takedown. He got taken down in the first fight. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how John Jones will react from the top position. Like how if he gets the top position, take DC down, how he effectively uses grappling that he's been talking about. He's improved that. So, but overall, I predict that John Jones will get a submission in the third round. After a hard-fought fight, I think he'll be able to eventually get DC down after landing some hard elbows. Probably get like a trip or sweep in over top and pass his guard. Then drop some elbows from half guard. Then maybe get like a mount, drop some ground and pound, some hammer fists, some hard elbows. DC try to transition, and he'll probably get DC's back or transition to a side control and get like a Darce. Even though those chokes that John Jones haven't really shown he done, but I don't know, that's just some assumptions. But basically, John Jones by whatever he wants kind of submission, third round. And that completes my predictions for UFC 214.